Hey, Ronnie Jr.
I think of my generation being born in the 80s, and the amount of people we could look at on the television may not always have been who we were or look like us
Right.
or talk like us. Now, your generation is a little bit younger. I wanted to know, who were the people that you were looking up to? Were they the people from yesteryear, like a Joan Rivers, or are you fascinated that, because for me, I'm always like, the digital space is so sloppy, but then there's some good out of that. Like, I'm not going to lie to you that I'm a grumpy, bitchy 41-year-old, because I come from a different era, and I'm very
Right.
proud that I've sort of finally navigated to this. Maybe it was one of the reasons I want to interview you, because I'm like, now looking at you not kids, but you younger ones who are almost 30, and loving the work you guys are doing. So I'm like, I'm finding something. So with your influences, were they strictly the traditional media, or were they a lot of the new media stuff, and TikTokers or Twitch people? Like, who really did it for you?
I still don't know what Twitch is to this day, so it's definitely not Twitchers. TikTok, I mean, here's the thing. I think I like to find a fine balance because there are people that are very popular within the digital age that have found a way to master the game, and I think that there's something to be learned from them because they're obviously in this new, digital world. But I also think the traditional talent has a lot to bring to the table, especially when it comes to like work ethic. Like Joan Rivers, speaking of her, had a really strong, like, big work ethic and was always tried to be very sweet to people and never said no to a job opportunity. And I feel like I was very blessed to be raised around a lot of really strong independent women. My grandmothers both carried the weight of what my parents weren't able to really provide for me. My mother was a single mom for a really long time. My aunts also carried their households, or were single mothers themselves. That I saw a lot of that. So I think when it came to other mentors out in the world, I gravitated to those types of women. So, when it comes to like traditional talent, I worked with Jenny McCarthy for a solid decade, right? Like back at the end of my time in high school when I was helping with her foundation. And she was a big influence on me, and just seeing her work ethic being in entertainment. So I think I looked up to her a lot as well. So it's always that fine balance of like looking at, the older generation that has, I think the struggle that you find is with that older generation, not a lot of them are willing to tap into the digital world or or this younger generation. And I think you have to have a combination of the two.
That's true.
You have to look at the past and see what they did because they were successful. And then you also have to look at the people now and see what they're doing and find ways to tap into that as well.